Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope that you're doing well. I just wanted to stop in and say, like I said, Happy New Year. Also, I'm testing out some new equipment today before I do the live. So sometimes these impromptus are a chance for me to experiment and try some different reading styles. Sometimes I'm trying out new equipment. But the main goal as I'm doing this is to keep the reading succinct. So I'm hoping we're looking at the clock right now. It's 5 o'clock. So I'm hoping that we can get it to the point where it's at basically 20 minutes or so. Okay. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you. And let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully you can. And looks like we're on here. Okay. So a couple of things as we go into this today. I'm going to start off with just like I did on the message earlier, like when we did the New Year's Eve thing. I want to take a look at one card to begin this with just kind of like the general energy of it, whoever kind of tunes into this. By the way, this is for anyone who needs it, anytime you need it. I am going to pull some elemental cards towards the end, but right now we're just going to kind of go in the flow. All right. So let's begin with a single card and just kind of take a look at what the energy is for tonight for whoever's tuning in today. All right. So we've got the Strength card coming through. This is a chance for you to prioritize who you are, your personal strength, but also kind of like taking the reins, if you will, and deciding like, I've got this, right? Strength to me isn't just your body. It's strength of character, strength of mind, strength of hope and faith, which is going to be really important as you start to manifest in 2022. So I want you to kind of enter into this next month, this next day with the feeling of I can, I will. Not like, I don't know if this is going to work. Am I going to be okay? Right? So I really want you to feel this sense of empowerment, not just like physical strength, like really like I can take on anything. I can get any mountain. Okay. So what a great card to kick it off, right? So I'm glad you guys can hear me loud and clear. For a long time, I was using one on the table. And one thing that's really cool with the new mic setup is as I shuffle the cards, you're not going to hear all that stuff anymore. You can still hear the shuffling. But when I make loud noise like that, it's not going to be as intense. This is something that I probably should have done a long time ago. So I just wanted to make sure that you could hear me loud and clear, which you can. So thank you for that. Okay, the next thing, I wrote down some stuff that I thought would be fun to look at today because we're right on the precipice here of a new year. Here's one that I think that maybe sometimes we're afraid to ask questions, and I thought it would be really cool to look at the question that you're afraid of. Because I don't really believe in fear. I believe that we're supposed to kind of look at things and find empowerment, find information. And so if there's something that you've been afraid to talk to someone about, been afraid to approach, let's face your fear. Whatever's been weighing on your mind. We don't have time for that in 2022, right? So whatever it is that's been heavy on your mind, let's give the cards a shuffle. And I'm going to look at some past, present, and future influences on that big and heavy energy, because I want you to enter into this new year with a nice clean slate. Okay. Yay, I'm glad you guys you can hear me well. This was my goal. I did a lot of research in finding this mic and it fits my space well, and it was made just for voice. So, and also, like I said, I got a different arm here so that it's not on the table. All right, so looking at the question that you're afraid to have sort of information or details on. The first card that we have is the Magician. She's reversed. The interesting sort of thing with this is she sort of has one eye closed, one eye open. I love the Magician energy because it's a reminder that we can do anything that we set our mind to, right? And sometimes we can also bring about the things that we are afraid of. So when we start to put energy into manifesting fear, or we are very kind of fragmented in our headspace, this can start to bring in the same sort of chaotic energy, or the sort of things that will basically validate our fears. It's kind of ironic, right? So if you're afraid of something, you're actually kind of calling it more into existence. So I would love for you to focus on what you can control, the fact that you actually can have an effect and some control on what's going on. And then, kind of echoing a little bit off of this Strength card that we saw earlier, I think it's going to be important for you to feel like, even if I couldn't do it before, I can do it this time, because as you see with the Strength card, we have someone here who is able to overcome or meet someone on the same level if in the past they couldn't do that. So if someone had a sort of history of beating you down or making you be quiet or not allowing you to sort of be there and be strong, now you have this capacity to say, no, that doesn't work anymore. So focus on what you can do, what you want to do, what you will do, and make a decision that you have no choice but to see this come into fruition. Okay. The next thing is independence is going to could either make it or break it here. I feel like a lot of you value your independence so much that you might be afraid to ask because you want to prove it to yourself that you can do it on your own. You might be afraid of what others think. This card in reverse is basically saying you can do it, but you don't have to do it all on your own. So if there's something where you need some help or you need some insight, Nine of Pentacles is saying you might actually be better when you lean into someone else's insight or into their experience. So don't be afraid to ask, okay? Eight of Pentacles tells me you're going to be fine. This is a time for you to kind of like get back to the drawing board. You've learned the lessons. Now you just need to apply them, right? So to use sort of like modern interpretations of this, this is saying you understand the assignment. And because you understand the assignment, you're going to ace the assignment. The Eight of Pentacles is a card where as long as you need to learn the lesson is going to be there. But the minute that you feel like, I'm done, I got this, then something else can come in its place. All right. So believing in yourself and not giving unnecessary energy to fear, knowing that you can do it alone, but you don't always have to do it alone unless that's some lesson that you're trying to teach yourself or learn, but lean on someone else if you need to. And then when you're ready to finish the lesson, class is dismissed. Okay. So these are pretty good cards. If something has been weighing on you, the fact that we have the Magician, the Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles tells me you're going to get through it this time. All right. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit better than you expected. So hopefully that helps out a little bit. Okay. So one thing that some of you are talking about, you might be new to my setup. I just got a new card. So when I hold a new camera and a new mic. So when I do this and I go out of focus, that's intentional. That's called shallow depth of field. When I then it comes back into focus. That's how cameras work. And I got a new mic so you can hear me a little bit better. So you'll get used to the new setup as I get into that. Okay. The decks that I've been using, my moderator was just asking me, this is the Luna deck, and it's the same maker of Ethereal Visions. You can go to my website, and there's a portion there where you can click on decks. Let me go ahead and give you those links just so you have them. So if you want to get some information about me or who I am, here's my website, and there you go. I'll be posting, by the way, my schedule for the upcoming month. I'm busy working on that. It should be up by tomorrow, and I should probably send out my newsletter tomorrow. I've just got a little bit that I'm working on. All right, let's get on to the next piece. So for the next piece that I wrote here that I thought would be really cool is because maybe you haven't done your New Year's resolutions. So I want you to think of something in your life right now that you're really looking forward to seeing a change happen with. This doesn't have to be something lofty. It doesn't have to be like you're going to run a 5K or win a gold medal or something like that. It could be as simple as deciding that you're ready to just see a change in your emotional well-being, in your body, or you're going to try to take the first step towards getting a new job or cleaning the house. I don't care. Just think about what your goal is. Make it something that you can achieve, and focus on what it is about that. How do you feel about it? What questions do you have about it? So let's look at one thing that you want to accomplish in January, and maybe in the new year. All right. So past, present, and future. So let's take a look. Welcome to my Australians. Good to see that this time works for many of you. I know that this is basically almost at the opposite end of the day for me when I normally do it. So occasionally with the impromptus, I'll probably do evening impromptus because I know that not everyone can make my 9 a.m. Pacifics. All right. So looking at what your goal is for either the next month or the next year, the first thing that's coming through is not to beat yourself up. Okay. So if there's anything that you've been wishing that you could make some more progress on, and you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, I didn't do this before. How am I going to do it this time? The general message here is that this is a clean slate. This is a brand new start. So failure is more, it's not the right word for it. I think what we could use instead is context. So when something doesn't go the way that you expect, then you have to sort of look at the lesson that you learned, the way that that kind of made you feel, and then this sort of, it kind of sometimes makes a fire in your belly, right? Where you think, this next time I'm going to make it work. So there's no such thing as failure, only context. The context is going to help you. Also, remember what I was talking about earlier, leaning on or connecting to other people. People are going to be so important in this new year. For those of you that might have actually gotten out of a bad relationship, a bad job, etc., basically prioritizing yourself and saying, I deserve better than this, is going to attract the types of people, situations, opportunities, etc., that embrace that sort of new sense of self. Okay. So people are an important piece to this success and to this next equation. Okay. So I like that. You don't have to do it alone. There might be love on the horizon, or friendship on the horizon, or a partnership on the horizon that's going to help you get further on this goal. Even if it's something like going to the gym, that helps. If you, or like if you're working out, going to Pilates or yoga or something, it's more fun when there is a accountability partner there with you who can basically give you a pep talk and say, hey, are we going tonight? Let's go. Let's do it. We can do it. So maybe that's the kind of partner that you need. It's not just like love and passionate kissing that's part of the Two of Cups. It can be best friends and people that really have your back. Okay. And you've got it. You've got the Emperor card. This is the wisdom that you've gotten from not just this experience, but your lifetime and past lifetimes. You're going to choose to just kind of like make it happen. Okay. The toughest thing for you, the one thing that could get you off this path towards kind of like doing what you need to, is a feeling like I failed before, I'll fail again, or I'm afraid of failing, or I have such high expectations that when I hit it, like just miss it by a little bit, I'm not celebrating the fact that I did get 70% there or 80% there, right? So be kind to yourself, be optimistic about what you can do. People, lean on them. This is the time to kind of bring them in. And again, it's not just love. The Two of Cups is also friendship and accountability partners, if you will. And you have the wisdom and the experience to make this happen. Okay. So pretty good. So far, I feel good about what's going on with people. And I feel pretty good about the new year. And that's weird to say because we've had a couple of years that haven't been so fun, right? But maybe collectively we can manifest something better. Wouldn't that be nice? All right. So that was the dream that you set for yourself. I always like to just do a couple of cards here to see what Spirit wants to tell you so we can get out of the way. You and me and sometimes even just sort of all the plans that I have. It's better just to kind of pull some cards and see what it is that Spirit has in mind for you. So let me use this deck. Again, they're all on my website. This is Tarot de Saint Croix, I believe. So this will be on my website too. You can just use that link and click on decks. It's on my main navigation now because people ask so much. All right. So what does Spirit want to tell you? What's going on? What do I need to see in your lives right now? You're going to laugh when you see our first card. All right. So the first card is strength. So Spirit really wants you to be focusing on your physical well-being. This might be, a lot of us over the course of this pandemic have, for better or worse, put our health in the back burner. Gyms were closed down for a long time. They're still now, sometimes even now that they've opened, that there wasn't enough business and they shut down too. So I've seen a combination of things. So we've had to find other ways to take care of our health. So yet again, we see the strength card. And this is kind of like you meeting that goal of strength head on, right? So I would really encourage you to focus on deciding like, what is it that I need to do to kind of like take the first step towards health and well-being. This could be deciding to sort of like clean up your environment. Maybe it is just a matter of a healthier working or living environment. It could be that what you're putting into your body hasn't been what it should be. It could be fatigue, but the fatigue could also be from any number of things. So focusing on listening to how you feel, mind, body, and spirit, it's the most important thing as you enter into this new year, okay? Really, really important. So the other thing that I'd like to say is we have the Nine of Cups here, and the Nine of Cups card here is about focusing on the positive. and really allowing yourself to step into this feeling that um, in this moment in time, I'm going to really be celebrating what I can control, what's important to me, and I'm not going to allow one small misstep to kind of like move me off that path. So this Nine of Cups can be great, but it is a very extreme card. So there's always going to be one person who doesn't like something. There's always going to be one person who disagrees, and I think that if you can tune out some of the peanut gallery a little bit, that's going to be important. I think the other thing here is understanding that if you can find a middle ground as you're going through each and every day, so it doesn't have to be the best day ever or the worst day ever, that's going to be really important to just your overall happiness and success as well. So finding a way to find the middle is going to be important. So focusing on health and well-being, and then finding that sort of middle ground is going to be ever so important. Okay. The other thing here is Page of Pentacles. I really like what we see with this Page of Pentacles. We have them focusing right in the middle there at the camera. And when you see the big picture, when you develop your plan, when you start to envision what's possible, a lot of this has to do with seeing it up here, not just like through your eyes, then that's when it starts to really happen. If you say, I'm going to do this, but you don't really believe it, or you don't really kind of know how it's going to happen, I feel like it's more like just throwing a dart and hoping it hits the target. And I think what's important here with the Page of Pentacles is to know what the target is, so that you can kind of focus in and throw that dart and have more effectiveness in kind of hitting what you need to. I think that's what's going to be so important. So really know what it is that you're trying to do. Really see in your head a little bit of a pep talk. I can do this. I will do this. And then just let the rest, it's kind of like gravity. Let gravity kind of take you the distance. So knowing, trusting, believing, and then once you start walking, once you start moving, it happens. Page of Pentacles is really good. This could be an offer on the table. This could be you also being open to receiving it. The only thing that's kind of interesting about this, I love cameras and I love that sort of metaphor, is it is the equivalent of having a very shallow focus. We were talking about that. I bring the card up, things that in the background fall out of focus. Sometimes in our own life, that same metaphor works. Like if I'm just focused on what's right in front of me, I miss what's over here. I miss what's over here. I might miss what's going on behind me. So this is a chance for you to kind of like tune in a little bit more and make sure that you haven't missed something that was just in the periphery. Okay. So there's something that is ripe for the picking and it's ready, but you have to be able to hear it, see it, and believe it. Okay. So that's what Spirit had to say for you. Okay. Let me take a look and see what else I wanted to kind of take a look at. Okay, we're going to do a quick look at the elements and then probably a silent question, and that might be it. I like to keep these shorter than usual. Thank you for the feedback on the new microphone. I hear what you're saying. I have to kind of like make sure that I don't go into the side or whatever. But I think that when I generally speak into it, it's a little bit clearer. You can let me know. But hopefully that's okay. All right. So let's take a look here at the elements. We're going to take a look right now. We'll start off with fire signs. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We're going to start with that first. All right. For Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, the beautiful Sun card came in for you. So the message for you here in this moment in time is to trust your personality, to trust your heart, to really allow for your charisma to kind of like help you out, to amplify you. We're talking about like recording equipment here. This would be the equivalent of an amp or turning things up. So you have what it takes to succeed, but the only thing missing maybe is that extra little smile or twinkle or intonation or, posture. So do whatever you can to kind of like really amp out your signal, your sort of heart light, and put it out there so everyone can see it. This is a good card to kind of be in the spotlight. People are ready and open to receive things from you. It's also a birthing card. It's like the little baby here in tarot. So with the Sun card, if there's something that you've been holding on to, now is the time to release it. And like a baby, it stumbles before, and it has to crawl before it walks. And even when it's walking, we call it a toddler for a reason. It's kind of like moving around and ambling around a little bit. So I think for many of you, understanding that you don't walk or ride your bike on the first try. So have some fun and know that there's kind of like beauty in this exploration process. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I'd like to look at is earth signs. So Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I'm glad you guys like it. And yes, NPR was the goal. I want it to sound like a podcast. You're going to hear a lot less from the room, but yes, I have to be careful. That's why I brought it closer. If I move here or here, it's not going to be as much. All right, again, so we're looking at Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Let's see what message is coming through for my Earth signs. It's about speaking up. It's about using your voice, focusing on the overall message that you're trying to communicate, and then also taking some action. Queen of Swords is one of the best cards you can pull because she's nobody's fool. She knows how to get things done. And there's a sort of commanding nature to her. If we work on everything that we've been talking about today, we got so many strength cards, right? Got a strength card here, and we also got a strength card here. When we really believe in ourselves, anything is possible. So I want you to put that belief into your throat chakra. Also pull it up from the solar plexus, something that it looks like our fire signs are already learning right now, and bring it together. Allow the throat to just really be open and allow for that power to come through. I've talked about this before. There's different ways you can talk, but and your body is actually going to either rein it in or amplify it. So if you just kind of turn down and you're talking like this, that might be good for ASMR, but it's not going to be really good for getting across to your intended audience. If you're trying to, like, think of a Broadway person, or someone on the West End. When they're performing, they have to really project their voices. So I want you to kind of just imagine that you could amp it up a little bit, project your voice, and imagine that there's power in the words. I have something for the weekend. By the way, I'll be doing a collective tomorrow where it was Queen of Swords. And I said, like, words are power. What should I do with them? Like, how do I use them? So I want you to imagine that each and every word that you say is like a magical incantation, which it is, by the way. That's why when we say low frequency words, it's cursing. It's not really doing anything positive. So imagine that you could infuse light and energy in everything, and it's magic. So your words are magic. So use it, okay? All right. That was a little bit of a tirade, but it was worth it. Let's move on to air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. All right, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This is a timeless message for whenever you happen to look at this. It's for you. All right. So air signs, what do you need to know? Let's take a look. All right. Air signs, you need to prioritize happiness and you need to release whatever it is in your life that might be making you feel like you're less than or you're tied back. We don't have time for this. Here's the cool thing. It's liberation when the card is reversed. So I'm okay with the Three of Swords in reverse. We see a broken heart here that wants to be mended. The one thing that I would say with this is we see all of these sort of strings pulling you in different directions. I mention this a lot, but in order to sort of be successful or to be fulfilled, sometimes you have to do the unpopular thing, right? Doing what's right isn't always what everyone expects and isn't always going to be understood initially, but later it may be understood. So think about it more in the lens of history and less in this instant. So if you need to do something like leaving a job, leaving a relationship, saying no to someone that you've always said yes to, and in doing so, your heart feels better, feels lighter. It's the right thing to do. So the one thing all my air signs out there have to do in this moment in time is really focus on feeling like it's okay for me to be happy, right? It's okay for me to do what I feel like I need to do in this moment in time. And also to believe that your heart can heal. So this is easier said than done. If you've been working on something and it just didn't turn out the way that you wanted, if you've been through a bad breakup, if something happened and it just really didn't meet your expectations, we see her here just sort of needing to have a good cry or a good scream. You need a channel for your energy, whatever it is. Yesterday, I just made time to get a chiropractic adjustment, and this is a cool chiropractor that also does like massage therapy too. But as someone who heals, as someone who helps, I have to prioritize myself too. And it felt so good for just like 1 hour to have someone help release all that energy that sometimes I hold on to. So you can heal yourself. Focus on being that healer. You don't have to have the magician card to be a healer. The area of focus for you is, am I happy? Am I whole? Are there strings attached to me? What can I do to remove those strings right here and right now? Okay. All right. So let's wrap up here with the water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And yes, there's nothing wrong with like, before I do that, I'm looking at chat, it made me laugh. Yeah, you can like, if you need to like scream in a pillow, or you can sing a song, sing a loud song, doesn't matter. You can also write or do any kind of artistic endeavor, swim and dance. And like, there's so many different ways that you can get the energy out, whatever works for you. Okay. All right. Water. Let's see what's coming through. Six of Swords, you have permission and even encouragement to move on. If there's something that you've been waiting to just sort of like get a sign, is it time? Should I do it? This is a clear indication that in fact it is time. You can do it. With this particular card, we see someone that's kind of like halfway in between making that step and also kind of a little bit in the past. So it feels like you might be spending some time right now reflecting on, if I only could have or would have done this, or I wish I maybe I should do this. Too much head space, kind of like energy happening here, and less action. So I would say the important thing for you is to think, I'm ready for change. Um, I could think this until the end of time, but at some point I have to take that first step. With movement, with time, things will start to feel better. This can also show that for many of you, a change of environment is going to also be important. So if you've been, like many of us have been, stuck in the house working too much or whatever, today I took some time with my dog, and maybe I'll post pictures on Instagram later. But we took a nice long walk, and he was so happy to be out because it's been raining recently. So just a change in environment for an hour or so, just did it in my neighborhood, can make all the difference in the world, right? And so then when I came back, I was refreshed. So some of you might just need to take a little bit of a break away from wherever you're working or living. And also, if there's any problems with anyone around you, this is the me time card. So maybe you love whoever you're with to the moon and back, but today they're on your nerves a little bit. So you're going to get some space. You're going to read a book. You're going to let them have some space. With the space, your heart longs for them again. You get some perspective. Your head gets cleared out a little bit. So distance is ever so important to all of those things, right? So overall, we have some really great messages. I would say for air signs, you're the ones that need to kind of really focus on self-care, but everyone else, I like what I'm seeing here. And yay, good messages overall. I have a special topic that you can vote on for Sunday if you'd like, which is focusing on love and relationships, because I never do that. But you can vote on that if you'd like. Before I wrap up today, I think it'd be cool to kind of pull some cards on love right now. So let's take a look at a few love cards, and then we'll wrap at the very end, because I want to make sure that I keep this right around 30 minutes with a silent question. So we're going to look at first a card for people that are in relationships. So let me see here. I'm going to use the first deck that I was using because I didn't get a chance to pull anything but the strength card on that. So for all of you in a relationship, let's take a look and see if there's some general advice for that. Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, so many of you are in this sort of feeling of, some of you, I feel like you're either wearing your heart on your sleeve, or you've done so much to make other people happy in your life that there's this moment where it's sort of like, can I ask for what I want? Is it okay for me to not be super happy in this moment in time? It's New Year's, I should feel happy, but I'm feeling this sense of, malaise. So feel however you need to feel. But one thing that comes through with this is to make sure that whoever you're with, whatever you're deciding to do, that there's something about that makes you feel okay. We want that cup to be up. So are you ready to receive it? If you're not ready to receive it, is it because of fear? Are you just tired of being in this relationship? Are you feeling like they're not listening to you? Any of those things are just kind of like begging for a conversation to happen. This can also just be heightened sensitivity. So again, a lot like I was looking at my air signs just a moment ago, you might just need to take care of yourself. Ultimately, we like the Queen of Cups. She's able to really connect with other people. Lots of love here to be had. So you're deserving of everything that you want. So don't be afraid to ask. easier said than done. I know, right? Like a lot of times in a relationship, it's scary to say, this is what I want. But I feel like that's the thing that's the most important for those of you in relationships right now. Let the other person know how to ace the test, what it is that they need from you. And if they consistently can't give you that, then this is a bigger sort of issue. But in this moment in time, it feels like it's just say what you need, ask for whatever it is that you want, give some feedback if you don't like something. You need to kind of let that off your chest. All right. Looking at people that might be looking for love, I was reading through some of the comments after we went live yesterday, and a lot of people are focusing on trying to find love in the new year. This might be something that you're trying to bring into your life. So let's take a look at people that are trying to bring love in. Okay. So don't force things. The Nine of Wands is it's a very cool card in that anything that you put your mind to, you can usually accomplish. One of the things that I would say with this, though, is sometimes it's pushy. And what's important here as we're looking for new love is to allow for the universe to show you what's available. And if it doesn't work, then it's also showing you what you probably shouldn't be focusing on. Also, you shouldn't have to put so much mental sort of energy into something. So if you've been focusing quite a bit on trying to get someone to kind of like read your mind, it shouldn't be that difficult when it comes to a relationship. There should be a piece where, yes, there's give and take. Yes, there's people taking turns at who's doing a little bit more. I would say, though, sometimes it should just be easy. So if it's not easy enough, then that is actually indication enough from the universe that this isn't the right moment. So don't force it. Take care of yourself, relax a little bit. A common message coming through with all relationships right now. By the way, not even related to relationships, but I still get other messages on this. If there's anything that you're trying to finish right now, to redirect this sort of passion or frustration into that, this card will get you to the finish line, or nearly there. 10 of Wands would be the finish line, but 9 of Wands is saying, I'm going to get this completed. I'm going to really surprise people. I'm going to knock it out of the park. So I feel like when it comes to productivity, put a little bit more into that, finish up something big on your checklist. When you're least kind of like caring about it, all of a sudden someone's going to come in and take your attention or your time. So let's get everything else done. It feels like you have this capacity to really check things off the list. Okay. For those of you single and happy, or just not really focusing on relationship, let's see if there's any sort of energy around how people might factor into your life. Well, things are good for you right now. I like that she's sitting pretty and happy here, not really caring about stuff. Here's the thing with the 9 of Cups. It's come up quite a few times. This can be a card for saying, you know what? I'm going to make time for fun. And I really want to do something to celebrate the little victories in my life too. So for many of you, saying yes to an invitation, saying yes to doing something that you put on that back burner for a long time. So maybe this is the year that you're going to learn how to anything. Maybe it's like learn how to drive a motorcycle or something like that, something adventurous and intrepid. Or maybe it's something where you just decide, you know what, I've finally gotten through all of my goals in these sort of categories. I just want to do something fun, take a day trip or whatever. Treat yourself and have some fun. And you're your own best company with this card. So the thing is with this, though, usually with 9 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups, there's going to be other people that are going to come in eventually because your energy is very appealing. So I feel like it's going to be an easy time for you to negotiate, to have conversations, to get things done. A smile goes a long way. Your positivity is infectious. So really focus on having some fun and doing some important things when you have that sort of joyful energy. Okay. So let's wrap this up because I do want it to be impromptu and brief. And I was just testing out this equipment too to see if it was all working. So thank you for the feedback. I want you to focus on whatever it is that I haven't covered today. And for this final question, I want you to just sort of like hold it in your mind, hold it in your heart. Don't worry too much about it. And we'll see what's coming through. All right. All right, so we have the King of Swords. I'm just going to put on my glasses to make sure that I'm reading the card correctly because super small text on this one. All right, so we have, yes, King of Swords. The thing with this King of Swords is he does look a little forlorn. He is looking at this and he's wondering, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this happen? So one of the things that I would say with this King of Swords is to focus less on the burden of whatever it is that you're focusing on, and more on how great it will be to sort of like have something done, especially. So for those of you that might be in a position where you are leading, you know, leadership has that sort of burden of responsibility. So, is there a way you could delegate responsibility a little bit? Is there a way you could let people in and let them know what's going on in your mind and your heart? It feels like you need to kind of talk it out a little bit with this card, and maybe just refocus on why it is you're doing what you're doing. For the rest of you, this is also kind of like an emperor card because it says authority at the bottom. So taking authority, taking accountability, super important, and that's going to help you with whatever it is you're focusing on. As a yes no, this is a yes card. This is definitely saying that you have what it takes, but what's missing is the perspective or the inner belief, which seems like it's been a common thread over this little impromptu reading today. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I hope that this gave you what you needed today, just to kind of like have a great start to the new year. A reminder: I'm going to be live tomorrow. You can go to my YouTube main channel and you'll see the impromptu there. I'm going to put the schedule up later tonight. I haven't had a chance to do that, or I would have cut and pasted here. I want to say thanks to everyone for showing up. I'm going to say special thanks to anybody that became a channel member or gave back. A couple of notes here, since I didn't have a chance to talk about it a moment ago, because I just got straight into the reading. It's kind of the opposite of what I normally do. If you're new to the channel and just happen to see that I was live, please consider hitting a thumbs up and then also subscribing to the channel so that you can see when I do future videos. If you'd like to join and become a member, there's a join button right below the video. That'll give you a chance to vote twice. And when I do Q&As, you can ask questions. And I have any sort of special events or something, I usually remind folks of that. On replay, you can also say thank you just by clicking that thanks button here. And if you've already given back, I want to say thank you. You can still do that while I'm wrapping up here. Social media links are in the pinned comment. This is basically all of the different platforms that I'm on. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh just about everywhere but Twitter. A quick note that someone was trolling in the comments earlier today, pretending to be me. I will never put a WhatsApp link or offer you any products or services in the comments or in direct messages. That's a good way to kind of spot someone who is not me. All right, let me just say thank you right now to those of you that were kind enough to give back here. I appreciate everyone's presence today. I just want to give some gratitude for those who joined as a member or gave a super chat or super sticker. So let me start first with the members tonight. Anybody that joined during this reading or maybe within the past day here. So give me 1 second here. All right, to the new members, I'd like to say welcome to Meldeus1, I think is how you say that. Scott Golan, welcome back. Good to have you after 1 month rejoining. Paris Bell 792, Daryl Huck, Sandra Shattuck, Kelly Keller, V Call, and I think those are all the ones from today because I recognize the other ones from yesterday. And let me just say thanks to all of those who gave some super stickers or super chats for this impromptu. Much appreciated. I want to say thanks to MSNN. Thank you very much. Joanna Bucure, Meek Brown, Scott Golan, Linda P., Adrienne Wagner, MA. Let's see, Paris Bell 792. Not Just Rainbows, cool name. You're Following D. AB, Lisa Medina, Leslie G., The Crossed Over Celebrity. I can't read the rest of it, but thank you. Rosemary, Dina Johnson, Lynette Jardine, Natalia. I'm just going to say Natalia. I can't pronounce that last name and I don't want to butcher it. Abitaba and Beverly Kendall. Thank you to everybody. We had some really generous ones tonight for all the 20s and 50s. I appreciate that. But I also know that everyone has a different amount that they can give. So thank you no matter how much. I appreciate it. It's helping me continue to grow the channel. And I hope you enjoy the new gear as well tonight because you made it possible. So thank you. I'm trying to amp everything up so that one of the things I want to do this year is podcasts and things like that. I want you to be able to see me and hear me a little bit better. So thanks, everybody. Thanks to Maria Margarita for this impromptu, for moderating it as well. And I hope everybody's doing great. And I hope to see you tomorrow as well. So a reminder that I will be live tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I'll also be back on Monday reading for Aries. I'm going to put the rest of the schedule up sometime on Monday. Or Sunday, rather. I can't tell what day of the week it is. On Sunday, so that you can see what's coming through. But I'm usually live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday. So next week I'll be reading, let's see real quick. I'll be doing Aries, Taurus, and Gemini on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, respectively. Okay. Much love and light, everyone. Thank you for the last few that are coming through. Hey, Kimber, good to see you. Thank you for that. And as your Ray Healing, I appreciate that as well. And Sharon Udell, I almost missed some of these. And Christina D, I'm just going to say. Thank you so much to all the new members for all the contributions. I hope you like these. I'll do more of them if you do, not just when I have changes in my setup. Lots of love and light. You want to say hi, Apollo? We'll close with you, buddy. Little Apollo in the background waking up. All right, everybody. I hope you're having a good one. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.